Hey fellow Nevillers, welcome back to the channel. I'm Neville O'Clock, otherwise known as Sarah, sharing Neville Goddard's fantastic mystical teachings on a daily basis. If you haven't already, please subscribe up there, down there, and then you won't miss any of Neville's fabulous wisdom. I've got my nose up in Your Faith is Your Fortune. We're on chapter 6, I am He. If you've ever heard Neville say that, he says it in a fabulous tone. I am He. He doesn't say it in that tone, but I love that line. I am He. Believe it or not, you are He. I am He, the Lord Jesus Christ. All right, fellow Nevillers, let's dive in and see what Neville says in the rest of this fantastic chapter. Neville writes. Neville right here, fellow Nevillers, is telling us how we go about changing our world. What we do is fight with circumstances and people and all sorts of things, conditions. And what we need to do is go up here in our consciousness, because consciousness is the only reality. Let's continue. He says, man, not knowing that his world is his individual consciousness, out-pictured, vainly strives to conform to the opinion of others, rather than to conform to the one and only opinion existent, namely his own judgment of himself. Is that not a big smack? So, man vainly strives to conform to the opinion of others. Do you do that? I think I used to, now I don't. Anyhow, if you do, it's okay. You will change. So, rather than conform to the one and only opinion existent, namely his own judgment of himself. So there you self. So there you go. Is that not a big key to the kingdom? Quit being a slave to other people's judgments and be a slave to your own opinion. Yay! Now let's continue here. He says, when Jesus discovered his consciousness to be this wonderful law of self-government, he declared, and now I sanctify myself, that they might also be sanctified through the truth. He knew that consciousness was the only reality. At some point, my lovelies, you are going to realise that your consciousness created all of that out there. I must admit, it was rather a shock. A few months ago, I had some thoughts, and they came to fruition. It's like I was witnessing my thoughts, and that's a kind of scary thing, because all this stuff is running around in your consciousness, i.e. your imagination, and it can be in an uncontrolled state. So Neville's trying to teach us or he is teaching us, he's teaching me and I'm doing it and you are too, is to live by our imagination and put into our imagination the wishes and desires that we want, rather than running around the world 3D creating mishaps, bad stuff as well as good stuff, because we've let our imagination run amok by the TV, the media, the preachers and everything like that. Let me go back to the chapter. He says, he knew, i.e. Jesus Christ, knew that consciousness was the only reality, that things objectified were nothing more than different states of consciousness. Jesus warned his followers to first seek the kingdom of heaven, that state of consciousness that would produce the thing desired. That's what desired. That's what we're to do, my lovelies. Say you want to be wealthy and healthy, we use those for now. That's what you have to flood your subconscious mind with, i.e. the state of consciousness of being wealthy and healthy. And then he says, that state of consciousness that would produce the thing desired, and all things would be added to them. He also stated, I am the truth. He knew that man's consciousness was the truth of all that men saw his world to be. And then a little more from Neville. Jesus realized that the world was made in the likeness of man. He knew that man saw his world to be what it was because man is what he was. i.e. I'm one person, you're another person viewing this video. Our worlds that we see out here are hugely different. We view it different mentally. It's all because I've got something in my consciousness and you've got other things in your consciousness. We view the world differently, my lovelies. Neville helps us here. He says, in short, man's conception of himself determines that which he sees his world to be. All things are made by God, consciousness, and without him there is nothing made that is made. Creation is judged good and very good, because it is the perfect likeness of that consciousness that produced it. To be conscious of one thing and then see yourself expressing something other than that which you are conscious of being is a violation. It would not be good. The law of being is never broken. Man ever sees himself expressing that which he is conscious of being, be it good. Be it good, bad, or indifferent, it is nevertheless a perfect likeness of his conception of himself. It is good and very good. So let's go back a little bit here. He says to be conscious of being one thing, let's say wealthy, and then see yourself expressing something other than that which you are conscious of being, i.e. we could be in lack, like I don't have enough money to do this, I can't afford it. So we're being two things there. Say we're trying to manifest wealth, and abundance in our life, but we go around saying, I don't have this, I can't afford it. That's where we're living. What does Neville say? He says it's where we're being double-minded. He doesn't say it in this chapter, but he says it in previous lectures and books. We have to stick and totally immerse ourselves in the state of consciousness we're trying to manifest, i.e. flood your mind, your consciousness with wealth. Neville's telling us this is a violation of the law of being. Therefore, it would not be good. The law of being is never broken. So what we're doing, fellow Nevillers, is seeing our consciousness outside here in 3D. That's what we are. What we see out here is what we are in here, of course. But if you don't like it, you have to change your self-concept. There's other videos relating to this, fellow Nevillers, to help you understand exactly who you are. Now, I'll say goodbye for now, and we'll do another video. This one's part 2 of I Am He. We'll do part 3 tomorrow. So thank you for your time and attention, fellow Nevillers. Please give the video the thumbs up. I love it. YouTube will promote the channel. Big fat kiss, because I'm all about love up here. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll see you next time, my lovelies. Bye.